Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Zelda, and I will be your host for this upcoming run. I am here with Rebel Dragon, who's about to kick off Miles Morales, so whenever you're ready, take it away.
Hell yeah. Hi, I'm rebeldragon95. We're going to be playing Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales. This is the PS5 release because I'm one of those guys that managed to get a PS5. Right, so if you're ready on time tech, there's a nice and skippable cutscene at the start, so if we can get going as soon as possible. So, right. So I will go in 3, 2, 1, go. Right, cool. So, yeah, beginning of this game, there's a nice cutscene. Normally when I'm doing attempts, you can actually save at the end of this first cutscene, and it starts off at the same point every time for every runner. So we just timed out the first cutscene and then we start from there every time. So I haven't watched this cutscene in ages. It's pretty good. Right, so this game is kind of like a, I don't want to call it like a mini DLC, but it's kind of like the, you know how in the Infamous series they do, I think it was called Second Son, where it's like kind of a smaller game, but this is still basically a full release. But this is a sequel to the Spider-Man game released back in 2018 on the PS4, which I will probably refer to as Peter game because it stars Mr. Peter Parker, and we refer to this one as just Miles. But yeah, so this is kind of the story of Miles when he first kind of gets used to using his powers shortly after receiving them in the story of the 2018 game. Alright, cool. So right after this, we get a bit of movement and then we get some more story elements. So at the start here it's mostly about Miles being kind of overshadowed by Peter. So yeah. Right. So right after this cutscene, we actually get our first stint of movement, and obviously it's all based around swinging. But Miles has his Venom powers, so you might notice I'm playing on NG+. So what NG+ does is it carries over my level, all my Venom powers, and all my Venom bars, also all my suit mods and suits and all that other stuff. So I have basically what is considered our optimal setup for playing the game. And I have enough Venom bars to basically near enough attempt to do one of the Venom moves over and over. Right, give me a second to make sure I start my timer at the right time. Once Miles has got to the right bit. And there it is. Cool. Right. So we get to move. So there's web zipping, which is just pressing X. There is point launching, which is where you zip to a point and then you launch. So right there, I have a ability on that lets me go in and out of invisibility, and that gives me Venom bar back. So basically I can potentially infinitely use it over and over again. Very cool. And then also I have getting Venom bar from doing tricks on as well, which isn't normally something that you have in this game at the start. So I'm basically gonna spam tricks when I'm swinging to basically infinitely regain all my Venom bar over and over and over again. Right. So the first mission here. We're actually going to help Peter escort a bunch of prisoners to, I think they're going to the raft. And Peter shows off his amazing skills at drinking upside down. Cool. 1, 2. Venom jumps there. Right, cool. So, if you have anything you want to say at the start here, Zelda, feel free to do so, because I'm in another cutscene.
Absolutely. First off, I would like to say that we have a €25 anonymous donation without any comment, but thank you nonetheless. And of course, for those of you just joining in with us, we are the Benelux Speedrunner Gathering. We organize bi-monthly gatherings in the Benelux with speedrunners. Due to the situation surrounding COVID-19, we're currently doing our events online for the time being. This event features streamers from both the Benelux and the rest of the world, bringing you entertainment during the lockdown. We are raising money for Mind, which is a nationwide organization committed to prevent mental health issues and to support everyone who is dealing with mental health issues themselves or within their family. All of your donations will go to Mind.
Alright, cool. Something that I was going to mention but I forgot. If you guys in chat have any questions you want to ask me about, not only about this game or anything surrounding speedrunning it, or even like PETA game, or just general questions, lovely host here is during some of the downtime when required, we'll collect some of the questions and I'll answer them.
Yeah, I'm gonna be paying attention to both the ESA chat and the BSG chat, but mostly the ESA chat, because that's like the one that I have in front of me for most of the time. So
yeah,
any questions you want to ask Rebel, I can relay them to him.
Yeah. There's a lot of downtime in this game, so I just want to have some nice interactions with some of the people watching along at home. Right, so in the big box here is our man's Rhino. Mr. Miles here made a huge mistake by imbalancing the weight on the helicopter. If I could actually say words, that would also be very helpful. So Peter here's going to go deal with Rhino. What we have to deal with is some of the escaped prisoners. So the first thing I'm going to do is going to use one of my gadgets. So Mars has 4 gadgets in this game. He has the gravity well, the remote mine, the holo drone, and obviously his web shooters. The holo drones are absolutely atrocious. They are garbage beyond belief, so we will never use those. Remote mines are really good, but I don't want to spam them in case I lose them, because drops in this game for your gadgets are kind of silly sometimes. Right, so this bit here is actually kind of an auto-scroller. I'm basically waiting for all the text to, for all the dialogue to be said. And when Miles says the phrase "wow, just wow," the next enemy you kill, if there is enough of them defeated, will just end this section. So I'm just beating up guys, waiting for the dialogue to end. Okay, right. Nearly there. We'll say wow, just wow in a second. Oh my god, Mars hit guy, please, thank you. Cool, I lost 2 seconds there because Mars got shot in the face. what a way to lose time. Right, so there's actually multiple things you can do with the Venom bar. What I did at the start of this was I did a Venom ground pound. There's also Venom Jump, which is used in most of the force fights. There's Venom Punch, but there's also Venom Dash / Grab. So part of the reason why I was mentioning about not wanting to waste all my remote mines is because gadget refills in this are in fact random. Every single enemy you kill has a chance to drop a gadget. Unlike in the first game, in the PETA game, basically every time you defeated an enemy, it had a higher drop chance to give you a gadget. But also every time you used a finisher in that game, it gave you back a gadget, regardless of anything. If you obviously had a spare slot for a gadget. So yeah, but also that game had websuit abilities. So like there was one called Resupply, which gave you back all your gadgets and things. Oh, I actually didn't get the slowdown there. Nice. So I have one of the abilities on which ups the drop rate on gadgets. It doesn't exactly always work the way it's supposed to work. It's kind of weird. So, right. So now we are guiding our boy Rhino here. The cutscene's actually right up Miles's chuff if you leave it normally. But if you hold the electric, for some reason the camera pans out, so I just like to do that because it makes moving around a little bit easier when you can actually see where Rhino's feet are. This is actually a QTE. if I didn't have auto QTE turned on. So I have a few accessibility options turned on to make the run a little bit easier. If I wanted to, I could have also put some shortcuts on, but I don't use the shortcuts. I don't know why, I just like controlling this game with its normal control scheme as much as possible. Right, cool, so I'm going to avoid all this. Basically, all that happens if you run into stuff is Mars takes damage and it just slows you down a little bit, so we don't want that to happen. This is our boy JJ in a Santa costume. What I love our boy JJ like this. Right, so we get more swinging. So this is the last bit of swinging in the first mission here. Right, and you actually have to turn the corner there. If you go any other direction, you like automatically fail the mission because yeah, Rhino gets away from you really fast. Alright, cool. So something else that I'm doing as well, whenever I'm using a Venom dash, I'm cancelling into tricks during it. Oh, okay. That kind of worked out in my favour. So all I'm trying to do whenever I'm swinging is I'm trying to maintain the game's like speed cap to make sure that I don't slow down or anything. In that case, I got hit, but I didn't really slow down. I managed to recover and get back into doing my stuff much easier. Also, they think a car and like a bollard will stop Rhino here, and then they're like surprise Pikachu face when it doesn't. Surprise Pikachu face. Oh no. Oh no. All the electricity's going out. Yeah. So, there's actually a short mob fight we got to do here. I'm gonna try and make sure I get all the guys in the first gravity well. It's kind of hard to do it sometimes because it very much depends on where they decide to move, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here, do that, and then they go there, which means I want to go like that. Cool, that worked. That looked really jank, but everything was like as intended there. Rhino jumps out of the building and onto the bridge, and when that happens, if you're close by, it plays like an unskippable cutscene where Mars gets flung away. I was trying to avoid the unskippable cutscene while also dealing with all the guys. So what I was doing there was I was using the gravity well to basically bunch them all up, and then I used a remote mine. And when you stick the remote mine to one person, and like you explode it, there's like a small AOE effect. So what I was trying to do is I was trying to get them all together, then AOE to defeat them all. Because they're like the first enemies of the game, they have like no hit points. So some of them die from just like the gravity well dragging them into each other and them hitting each other. Alright, so we are going to fight our boy Rhino here. So Rhino here, if you don't do it as the game intends you to do it, Rhino really doesn't like you. So we have to play out most of the Rhino fights, the two Rhino fights we do, basically as the game designers intended. So this first one here, we need to stun him with venom punches, and then we get a full combo on him. And if you don't, and you have to do this 3 times in this first phase, or things get wild. So while I'm punching him, I'm going to be popping in and out of invisibility to basically get back on my bar every time. And then once this has happened, he throws us inside the building. He really didn't want to get stunned there until the last second. I love it that sometimes there's artifacts that get left on this game, like the web that was on him right there. Right, so this is a mechanic that comes into play a lot later, but when you dodge around Rhino like this, you can get on his back and then run him into a wall. That's very much the way you beat him in the second fight we have with him, so punch again. There we go. Alright. So I did mention earlier about finishes being different in this game. So finishes in this game aren't based on how much meter you have. They're actually based on your combo counter, which is why they don't give you back gadgets. They're based around you maintaining a high combo count and getting basically a free knockout on someone. But we don't really use them a little bit, depending on the enemy. If I haven't hit the enemy, I use them to get back the venom bar because it recharges your venom meter by quite a lot. So basically, we need them to maintain flow in fights, but they're not very good for getting back gadgets and things. Basically, every time you get a knockout on an enemy, there's a chance for it to occur. So I try and only use gravity wells because then the game only gives me back gravity wells and it doesn't have a chance to like do other things. Alright, cool. So, this is the cutscene where we get introduced to, technically, to one of the game's antagonists, Mr. Simon Krieger here, who runs a big evil corporation, because of course he runs a big evil corporation. And he's congratulating them on beating up the Rhino. So, Zelda, if you have anything you need to say at this point, you can also go ahead here as well.
Alright, I have a couple of incentives for you guys. First up, we have the Rizaka boss crash for Till Concerto, which is, hang on, was like a whole text. Basically, it means if we kill the first boss of the game too fast, or more precisely, before it does a single attack, the script kind of breaks and the game doesn't really know what to do between like the first boss attack and the death animation. So it like kind of results in a crash, but then it starts to like still kind of read data and it starts doing like a bunch of weird audio log things. So if you want to get that happen, get your donations in. We have about hang on. Yeah, our goal is about 75 euros. So again, if you want to see that happen, get your donations in. And also for Resident Evil Village, we have the language choice. We have, of all the options, we have Brazilian Portuguese, we have English, French, German, Italian, and Japanese. So if you want to see any of these languages, get your donations in as well. Currently no donations for either of these incentives.
Nice. I love seeing a game which doesn't like it when you do things too fast. There's a fight in this game later on where if you do it entirely in stealth, the game soft locks. Because the game requires the second wave to spawn for the door to open. And if you do everything in stealth, yeah, nobody sees you, so they don't warn the other guards to come and attack you. So it just goes, no, you can't continue. Alright, cool. So...
Oh, my bad. We actually have 20 euros towards the Rizaka boss crash. So we need about 55 euros.
Yeah.
Okay. I promise to do everything in my
So this cutscene here is mostly about Peter telling us that he's going to leave Miles alone for a few weeks because he's going on a working vacation with MJ. And then he just trolls him a little bit by telling him to do a childish oath. So then after this, we're gonna go. We are gonna go see our friend in the park. So part of the reason why I didn't put a suit incentive up for this game, like I normally do with the other Spider-Man ones, is because this game forcibly changes your suit at multiple points throughout the run. It changes it like a few times automatically for you, and you don't get a choice in it. And I was just like, that's just going to confuse my brain if I keep having to like change it over and over and over again. Alright, so that's the end of the first mission. Hold on to your web shooters. Alright, so we get a bit more movement, and then I'm going to try and do a trick, but I don't know if it will work or not because it's very inconsistent sometimes. Cool, so webs it there. So the whole idea of movement is I'm going to be trying to, in most cases when I'm moving over buildings like this, staying in straight lines and staying as high as possible so I can then basically just web zip or... Thanks Miles for not getting the thing I needed you to there. Oh, this is actually poop movement right now. Actually poop. Right, cool. So now we're going to go in the park, and the park's lovely. I don't like the park because this is the fastest way to move through the park, is to just continuously dash through. Alright, let's get this right. Visual. That didn't work. Cool. cool. What I did there is a launch. So I didn't get the thing there, no. So what I was going for there is by changing the display mode and opening the share menu at the same time when it asks you to reset the cutscene. When it asks you to load the checkpoint, for some reason the game stores up just a ton of speed and then you can just dash straight to the end. So if you actually get a good enough launch, when Miles says there, Peter auto-programmed his suit to play JJ's podcast, Guys and Masochist, you can actually get to this checkpoint and end that mission before he says that line, if you get a good enough launch. And it saves about 30 seconds if you get it. It's really, really silly that in the first 20 minutes there's a trick that inconsistent that saves like half a minute to 40 seconds. Cool, so this is Venom Jump. Venom Jump is one of the best abilities that we have, and I'm going to be using it a lot. Because basically it stuns enemies and then you can just one-shot them from there. Cool. I'm going to pop in our visibility there for extra bar. Cutscene. Do that, 1, 2. Do that on that guy. And there we go. It's in that mission, so hopefully this is okay. That's an okay mission. Right, so this tells you that there are little challenges all over the map. Something that you can do to speed up the map scroll is if you mash waypoint and circle on most of these, it skips the map scroll. It doesn't do it on all of them, but it does it on most of them. Alright, so now we're going to go over here. So Miles finds out that from Gang on the phone that Roxxon have made a new power plant. And that's the company that Simon Krieger belongs to. It's his company. So we're just going to go and look into it to make sure that everything's fine. Because I think he picks up on a story that is getting attacked by a gang. So again, point launching, popping in out of invisibility to get my bar back. Oh my god, Miles, thank you for not doing what I wanted you to do. Let's get the cutscene. Let's get more cutscenes, let's go. Right, so I've got to talk to this computer here, and then we get a fight. And the fight is kind of annoying. Basically, I need to try and make sure all the guys here get defeated. So this is the underground. This game's like main antagonistic force. So gravity well, pop them up in the air. Use Venom Dash to get up here. Gravity well again. Oh. I need you to break them. Okay, that's fine. Do that on that guy. So that's a finisher. Pop these guys. Throw that guy. That guy. And don't dash out back. Let's be last guy. Cool. That was okay. Ah, cool. Right. Never ever try web zip to that building on the left there. It doesn't like it. This game goes, how about you don't do that? I've got to talk to the bag, and talking to the bag is honestly the hardest thing in this entire game. Like, I would rather fight the final boss right there than, like, talk to that bag sometimes. Right, so this is a nice little short, walking around as Miles mission. So in the base game of Peter game, there's actually a lot more of these, where you play as both Miles and Mary Jane doing somewhat stealth missions. There's none of those in this game, but instead we get this short mission where Miles, his mother, and the two of Miles' friends have Christmas dinner together. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go save Christmas real quick. So our boy Gank here drops some sauce all over the floor. He just turns around and yeets it. And then our mother tells us to get the get the apartment ready. So we're going to turn on the Christmas tree and go get a record to put on the record player. So like as I said, the big difference between this game and the game in 2018 is that this is like the only one of these versus the like 4 or 5 you have to play in the first game. And in this game, this one, I kind of think it's better because you don't have to worry about like doing the stealth mission parts, because damn, the stealth missions are really annoying on the 2018 game, and they're really hard to do in a speedrun because there are some really hard like speed strats that you do to get past them that we don't need to do in this one. So this is where we look at the Prowler. Prowler is very important later in this run. Spoilers, if you don't know the story of Miles Morales, Prowler's actually his uncle Aaron. Don't worry, we'll deal with him a bunch later because yes, he's a very prominent character in this game's story. There's actually multiple records you can pick up there. I always pick up this one because it's the first one there. Because why? And then we're gonna go put it on.
The greatest record ever.
And then we're gonna go open the front door. Right. So they're gonna compliment the low-key, classy jazz, and then we're gonna go open the door because the doorbell's broken. But they know that someone's at the door, which is kind of stupid.
Miles, could you get that? Of course.
And then during this cutscene, the power goes out. So we're gonna go check on the breaker. Then Miles has the absolutely fabulous idea to just go outside in his regular civilian clothes and go climbing on a wall. So let's go, and we're going to get into, honestly, the part about these games that annoys me the most, the web crawling. The wall crawling. So wall crawling in these games have really kind of weird controls sometimes, and they're not very good, honestly, when you're trying to like do like optimal movement and stuff. Oh my god, Miles, please go the direction I want you to go. Thank you. Cool. So, our boy here is... Oh my god. Got to avoid all this stuff here with this awkward as hell camera angle. And our boy Miles here can restart the transformer because he has electricity powers.
It worked. Oh man, those lights are bright. Nothing was through.
Alright, cool. So now we're going to go back into the building. Oh my god, Miles, please go the direction I need you to go. And then this one, you can skip the cutscene when you get here. Cool. Right, so, the start of this mission is when we get introduced to the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man app. So, your friend Gank here is a computer guy, because of course Miles has a computer guy friend. And he makes a app that connects to your phone and obviously to your spider suit. Because obviously very high tech, and this allows us to do things like go to extra missions and go to crimes and stuff. So if you ever want to 100% this game, unlike the 2018 game, you don't need to worry about doing crimes. You've only got to do the missions that are stated in the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man app. But also the app can be used to actually do some speed tech, which we're going to be using a little bit later to skip some phone calls and some dialogue that otherwise would be unskippable. There's a nice little cute moment here as well where Gank finally gets to see what Miles's vision is like, and then he's like, "How do you not puke all the time?" Which I think is a pretty cute moment. So this here is the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man app. We only get one choice of a mission right now, and this is the only side mission we have to do, but it's technically part of the story. But it's listed as the side mission, so it gives you activity tokens, which you can use to buy abilities and stuff if you're playing this game for the first time. Alright, cool. So we're going to go over here to the Harlem train station.
I'm headed to the subway stop.
Right, let's see if we can do this. Oh, I got a little bit of a launch there. So if you get a good enough launch there, you can actually get to, where is it? You can actually get to around here if you get a good enough launch. It's one of the more subtle ones because you don't notice it because you just kind of go forward.
You know anything else about them?
Oh god, I thought I had more bar than that. I tried to Venom dash. So as you can see, most of my movement is based around me Venom dashing, doing air tricks, and then trying to maintain as much speed as I can
You saw Spider-Man often?
through web zipping and stuff. I'm basically just trying to stay at the game's speed cap so then I know I'm not going too slow. Alright, cool.
Have you been working at the subway?
Also, one thing which I always will praise this game for is Miles's animations when he's swinging are like so good. Alright, so we're going over here because we need to go check on the cables
Well, when we fix
for the train station, which are apparently all the way over here.
the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man app.
Cool, that's decent movement.
It's gotta be
Right, I'm charging a super jump, so which is another move you can do, which is basically just get a burst of speed into the air and such, and we're gonna do that and knock out that guy.
Hey, yourself! Signal relay.
Alright, cool. So this is another case where it zooms over the map, but you can mash buttons to
Around the city.
skip past it.
Perfect time to try out those new hollow
Alright,
drones.
cool. So, more fight, which means gravity will into this. Venom dash that dude. More guys up here. Don't you dare get far away from me. And now we get to move on. So that was actually a pretty good fight. That fight's pretty consistent actually. That's one of the only ones which is like really consistent.
Checking with Uncle Aaron. Hey, Mr. Davis.
Alright, cool.
How are things looking now?
I've got a signal for new trains on the tracks. It must have gone down a bit yard.
It was the underground messing with your sensors.
Right, so we get told now we have to go to the train yard and fix stuff at the train yard, but
Subway to ship
we're warned about underground.
The subway system was designed to scale. Not
Alright, cool.
this line got some updates from Roxxon Plaza.
Do
so
that.
they could be using it under the table. I'll follow up on it. So, you mentioned your brother. You got other family?
I have a question for you, Rebel.
Yes.
Becky-chan asks, what's your favorite Miles suit?
I actually like this game's classic suit, like the one that it'll forcibly change me into in like a little bit. I actually like this game's like default suit the most out of all of them. The suits in this game aren't actually that good, to be honest with you. I'm just mostly a fan of that one. Right, so grab two of these guys. Hopefully, the guys I need to come towards me will. That's fine by me. Cool, that's fine. Is that all of them? Nope, there's one guy there. Yeah, so the classic suit in this game is my favourite one. I also like the, there's also like a hoodie one, the 2099 suit.
Controls is probably in the office.
I think, is it 2091? There's like a hooded futuristic one which is also pretty cool. But most of the suits in this game aren't as like good as the first game because Peter has way more, has had way more suits and options. No, why would you do that, Miles? That's not what I wanted. That's fine though. I'll just take longer to do this, shall I? It's exactly what I wanted. Alright, so this is actually a puzzle. Yeah, we're just gonna move some trains around real quick to get them back on track.
Would you want to stop before reaching the city?
Let's see if I can do this actually. I want to get hit by the train. Hang on. There we go. I love getting hit by the train there.
Now they need power. They busted the controls here too.
Punch that. So this is where Mars goes by webs are conductive, but if we're going by the law of most of like the Spider-Man things, his webs like dissolve in like a couple of hours if I remember correctly in a lot of them. So like even though he's fixing this now, it would be like, you know, a couple of hours later, oh dude, the trains aren't working again. Bugger. Right, so now we've got some movement. So this is one of the oh no! Why did I do that?
Anything change on your end?
Completely messed up my movement. Now my chains are messed up.
Glad to help. If anything else
Right,
comes
cool.
up,
So
post a note in the app.
Wait a second. I got a little something.
this is one of the only points where movement actually like fully matters because you've actually got to go on a time limit. I say a time limit, but like it's one of the only times where your movement actually can lose you or save you time based on what you decide to do. There's only a few places in this game where that's even a thing.
Someone on a conspiracy in our neighborhood. Classic.
Alright, cool. So I'm actually going to go down here.
Mark of the true Spider-Man. Well, if you need me, I'm a phone call away.
And oh god. No, I hit the ground. That's the last thing I wanted to hit the ground. As I said, I hate going through the park. Did I have I said that yet? I don't like going through the park in this game. Because they added less trees because Miles' entire gimmick of using the Venom Dash to get everywhere. So it's kind of annoying to get around this place sometimes.
Oh, I should definitely check that out. Now that the whole city's counting on me. We're like the #1.
Alright, so you know you're good on movement is if there's a little text conversation that Miles has with another character called Finn. In a second here, if you're by a certain building,
As soon as I'm done here. Later.
when that text conversation's happening, you know you're doing fine. I'm not going to be there when that occurs. I'm just behind it, so I was meant to be here when that started, but that's fine, that's only like a couple of seconds.
Oh, hey, Mr. Davis. I'm almost there.
And over here, you want to make sure you're not too high when you go into that cutscene, because sometimes it can cause the game to soft lock. But something I'm going to do is I'm going to go use the car explosion.
They're gonna blow the whole line.
Not a sweat.
So I call.
Hey, bombs are down. Now for these guys.
There's more on
Okay, do that.
I'll get them.
Do that. Got to use them cars for that explosion. Right, cool. Now I want to go. Sake Miles, just switch to the freaking right thing, please.
across the intersection.
On it.
Just have to blow him up.
One more.
Alright, cool. So I've got one here. You know,
So last night you learned new forms getting shipped by train.
make sure.
Then today
Oh
you
god,
went
I'm not in there.
train. Why? Stop new forms? Steal it?
Just do that to gain some meter, and that's the end of that. That's actually pretty good. And I'm just going to use this chance to gain some bar. Cool. That's pretty good. Right, that's into Harlem Trains. And in the story for this, the guy who's working at the train station is actually Uncle Aaron. And if you listened to me earlier, Uncle Aaron is Prowler. So, yes. I did say he would be fairly prominent in the story. There he is, and he'll appear multiple times throughout. Oh god. Right, so. Got a lovely pop-up on my screen right now. Go away. So, this bit here. So we have to go all the way over to close by to where the science centre is to initiate a couple of cutscenes.
Thanks for the tip.
So, I mentioned earlier about the app being used to skip phone calls and such. You can actually skip this phone call if you wanted to, but there's no point because by the time you get to where you need to go, it's normally over anyway. So, there's a phone call that occurs after this, which you have to wait about 20 seconds for it to spawn in, and then we can move on. So, over here. So, one of the tricks of learning this game is, yes, I just know where to go in this game.
Did you know he's working there?
I just memorized where I needed to move in this game. If you asked me, Rebel, how the hell do you know where you're going? I would be like, I don't know, I just know.
See him anymore. He used to come by our place all the time.
And I'm just gaining some meter here because I need some meter. And there we go.
Give me 1 second.
Right, cool. So if I need to position myself by this door correctly.
Go save the world, Mom. One vote at
while they're having their lovely conversation with each other. And then that text conversation that in the previous mission where he was talking to Finn, he was organising meeting up with Finn, so gotta wait. Hopefully that crime doesn't ruin the phone call. Oh god, it's a car. No, it's good. It's fine. It's fine. Oh, sweats. Because sometimes crime spawns can mess with phone calls and them spawning. So hopefully she'll... Oh god, I'm a little bit too close to the door. So something nice and awkward about this is... Oh, and yeah, there's a custom marker over there. When I was...
We still meeting today? Never got a text back from you.
Oh, yeah.
When I was doing one of the skips in the previous mission, it sets a marker there. So what I'm doing here is I'm just activating this mission over and over and over again, and that stops the phone call from spawning for long enough for the mission to spawn in. Skip through this. Right, cool. So, now we get to Time to Rally. So Time to Rally has another great, has like another good launch in it that I'm going to try and do. Hopefully I can get it because it's kind of annoying sometimes. But first things first, we have to go down and have some fun at the carnival side as Miles and gang. Because, you know, of course, we have to go and try and have fun, and then, you know, some bad guys decide to show up to ruin Spider-Man's day. The classic. Happens every time. Alright, cool. Oh, and as a reminder while I'm still walking, if you guys still wanna ask me any questions or whatever, just feel free to put them in chat, and if I miss them, Zelda will read them out to me and such, in case you joined in after the start of this run. Also, I'm trying to avoid gank here because if you get caught by him, you run really slowly because you're stuck behind him. So I try to get in front of him and then try and stop him from getting in front of me, because gank's programmed to run in front of Miles the entire time. So just instead of a couple of seconds, I try to get ahead of him, then I go the opposite direction to him when we get to the split path there. They're the same speed to go around either direction, just I prefer not to have to deal with gang. Alright, cool. So when you skip that cutscene, it skips to about halfway through the cutscene. I don't know why. Oh my god. It skips about halfway through the cutscene, because cutscenes in this game are really weird, with like when they're skippable and such. And the underground here show up to try punching some Roxxon because they don't like Roxxon. Because Roxxon be doing bad stuff, but also underground be doing bad stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to fight some underground guys again. So I'm going to pop in that invisibility, pop down one of those. Okay. That really didn't work out the way I intended, but whatever. Okay, I'm actually going to go over here. Thinking about it, this is actually a better idea. I'm going to go over here. Get these guys to come over here, because they like to jump at you, and then going to bang them over here, and then take them off. Right back there.
She hurt her arm when she fell. Don't worry, we're taking care of her. Not you. What's the underground doing?
That doesn't make sense. I thought they wanted
There's
to form.
one more enemy down there,
Had to
and
figure out the Tinkerer's
punch
next
it.
move.
Right, cool. So now let's see if I can get this. Nope, that's too little. There we go, there's a launch. Oh my god, I got caught on the building, no! I didn't get anywhere. That one's the hardest one to get. I was trying to go around that building slightly to the right, but it's very, very hard to get there. But I still flew like half the distance to where we needed to go. So that's still pretty, it's still a pretty strong launch. And now I'm just going to be trying to gain meter the entire time. And if you actually get here fast enough, you can actually get here before he even picks up the phone or talks to Aaron there. So you can't skip the cutscene there, but you can skip it there. Alright, so now, back to regularly scheduled punching people.
Okay, I'm fine. But did
Do
you
that.
see the Tinkerer? Ben,
God,
I saw her today. If I just put everything together,
this is not your fault, man.
I was so happy to see her. I wasn't paying attention. I have to pay attention.
Cool. Alright, cool. So now we get kind of a rescue mission. So this is kind of the only time where we get kind of a rescue mission section in this game. In Peter game, you get these a couple of times, but most of them are in the first mission in that game, where Peter's saving a bunch of civilians. This is the section where Mars is saving a bunch of civilians. So yeah, Mars being Mars here, half the bridge gets destroyed. So now we're gonna go save some people. Oh god, I went way too high there.
Bridge, before it comes down. Fight.
Alright, cool. Oh, Boston, turn around, please. And want to pop in visibility there to get us a meter back.
Everybody get out.
Alright, so our boy Mars here is trying to save this bus.
Don't worry, I
So after this, we get to see what auto QTE really does, and it's very amusing how silly and how sillily fast it goes. So half the bridge falls down here, and then Miles has the wonderful idea to web the bridge together, basically. So yeah, this is what auto QTE does if you have it turned on. He just goes absolutely nuts. You have to do this in two separate. You've always got to do this basically in 2 cycles, basically.
okay.
And cool. I'm going to be losing about 15 here, 15 to 20 here, because of the fight and the launch being.
Got this. Just a little closer.
And after this, we got a. Cool. I lost 18. All right. So, in the story bit here, this is when this is the cutscene where Miles actually learns how to become invisible. So this is when you actually unlock the invisibility powers. I've been using them up to this point anyway, but this is when you actually get them as part of the story. There's a move we have as well called the Mega Venom Blast, which I don't use much, but I use it a few times. You technically don't get that till like the 3rd to last mission. But yeah. If you have anything you want to say, Zelda, feel free to go ahead here.
Absolutely. We would like to thank ESA for supporting the event and for allowing us to stream on their channel. For more information about their upcoming events and any changes due to the COVID-19 outbreak, be sure to check out esamarathon.com. And you can also consider using your free monthly Prime Gaming subscription right here on the ESA channel. You will get access to all the ESA emotes as well as several BSG emotes, and you get to support both of the events.
Oh yeah, so this is Miles getting threatened with guns and then being like, I can go invisible now. Hell yeah. So the thing that I like in this cutscene is the second half of this cutscene after this bit here. So we get a cutscene of Mars and Gank doing the making his spider suit, and as someone who misses that kind of stuff in superhero movies and stuff now, because they're not really into doing origin stories and like things like that, seeing like the hero making their suit just is like the big hell yeah for me.
Okay.
Because this suit here is a hand-me-down from Peter, which is why it looks real jank and whatever, and also it's all ripped up because it can't maintain dealing with Miles being all electrified. So yeah, we get to make our own suit and we get to watch the montage, and because it's just in the cutscene, I get to see it every time and I enjoy it every time. It's just... So yeah, if you were wondering, the two suits that I've been using the entire time are both like hand-me-down practice suits that Peter gave to Miles, which is why they don't really fit him and whatever. And he has like the little like knee pads and things on the one that we've just been using.
It's my fault the bridge blew up.
So yeah.
I'm headed to the campaign.
Again, if you have any questions you want to ask me in chat, feel free to do so throughout the run, and I will try and answer them. It doesn't necessarily have to be game related, but if you ask me questions about 2018 as well, like I can explain some stuff through about the first game in this as well, because they're very similar in a lot of ways. But the first game has a lot more in terms of like glitches and other things that you can do to speed up the game whatever over like Miles, where we played this game basically mostly glitchless outside of the like couple of launches I attempted. You can technically speed up every cutscene in this game for like a small 10-second portion, 10 to 20-second portion of it, but like we don't do that. Because in our final times for this game, we time out the cutscenes anyway. So when we get to the end of this run, I will actually tell you what the actual time is on our actual calculator. Oh no, I don't want the time, I want a time calculator. Because I forgot to open it. I always have the time calculator open for this game. Go.
Do anything that Spider-Man does.
Whenever you say Spider-Man,
Which game did I enjoy more casually? I think this game I enjoyed more casually, because this game is a lot more streamlined with its like extra content and such. But also, when I played the first one casually, I didn't understand how to play the game as much as the games as much as I do now post speedrunning them. So I wasn't as aware about how to do things in like the correct ways, and I think after playing this game and its more streamlined side content a couple of times, the first game's side content kind of gets a bit boring after a while, and there's a lot of it. Like I said in this game that crimes aren't required for 100%, but crimes are required for 100% in the first game, and my god, they are so annoying. Like we have a trick to like continuously spawn them over and over. But the gimmick is you have to do 5 of each type in each area. But the problem with that is the game can give you duplicates of the enemy types once you're past the 5 that you've done in that area. So you can just spend hours just not getting the crimes that you need to spawn. Which is why I think when I played through the DLCs, I much more enjoyed doing the DLCs 100% in 2018, because they were a lot more streamlined and had much smaller areas of stuff to do. Alright, cool. We're in the suit I like now, so...
hey man, it's a big time now, huh? Feels like people need friendly neighborhoods now more than ever.
But sadly, we're in what's known as a free roam. So, if I could like not get caught on buildings, that would be very helpful. Right, so... something that this something that Insomniac decided to do from a gameplay perspective in this game is at certain points of the game they give you space to go in free roam and do stuff that's like extra, the extra side content and stuff. But basically, because we don't need to do any of it in a speedrun, we just go to where the mission spawns and wait there. I did find some of the secret mission ops on my own. I've never actually got them all on one file, so I've not actually unlocked the Peter and jeans, which is one of the funniest suits. Like, I think it's funnier than the underwear one. It's just Peter in a pair of jeans and a t-shirt. He's like, I put the mask on, I'm gonna go save some people. Like, I kind of expect the underwear one more than the jeans and t-shirt, the nice, smart, casual boy going out to save people. Alright, cool. So while I'm waiting here, Zelda, if you've got anything else that you need to say or plug, feel free to do so.
Absolutely. I'm just going to quickly remind people that we still have a couple of incentives open right now. We have, once again, the Risaka Boss Crash for the Tail Concerto incentive, which is... hang on, if you could give me a quick second here. Okay. basically what happens if you kill the first boss of the game, or more precisely before you kill it, before it does one single attack, the game gets confused and starts to crash, but it still tries to read data at the same time, so you get like a bunch of weird audio issues and stuff. We currently have 20 euros into that, and we need about 75. So if you want to see that happen, get your donations in. And also for Resident Evil Village, we have the language choice, which is a choice between Japanese, Italian, German, French, English, and Brazilian Portuguese, which nobody has donated for yet. So if you want to see either of these languages, get your donations in.
Oh yeah. So there's actually a bit of movement tech in this walking section. You can actually Venom Punch over here.
Okay.
And if you're at the right point, it activates the trigger for the computer to turn on early. So the QTE to activate it, I said QTE, the button to activate it turns up a little bit earlier. Alright, so we have found out in the blast mission in Time to Rally, but I like skipped the cutscene, that Finn here is Miles' friend that we went to see earlier, but also Finn is actually the Tinkerer, this game's main antagonist.
Sure, we're ready.
And this is basically just a short set of cutscenes explaining why
Poisoning the city to make
Finn
it
became the Tinkerer, and it's because of some stuff that happened between Roxxon, her, and Mr. Rick Mason here,
Okay. First we flush the core.
where they had the big disagreement, and the scientific creation that Rick Mason made, which is what gave him his illness currently, that's why he is on a IV there, and they wanted to go and basically
I'll record.
stop the
Video uploads straight to the bugle.
stop Roxxon from using the power source that he'd made called New Form,
Ready.
which is what the Underground broke onto the bridge to steal. They stole a canister of New Form, and part of the reason why the bridge blew up is because Miles got flung into the truck where all the New Form is, electrified all of them with his wonderful electricity powers, and exploded them, which is why what happened occurred. So we go into this because we know this is where Finn used to live, and this is where that's why we're here to find out all this information. All right, cool. So this is where we get our information to go to the next mission. So we're gonna go find Finn's phone inside the Roxxon building, which he dropped it in,
Trying to shut the New Form project down.
because Miles wants to see the video that's on it.
There's no location of the phone.
But before we do that, we have a run-in with some underground guys, and Miles here just can't stay invisible. So because technically this is the first time we've had to use it since he learned it in the last cutscene. So the game tutorializes you pressing up to go invisible here, but we're just gonna pop in and out over here. Cool, getting hit there is actually kind of useful. Oh my god, Miles.
More friends joining the fun?
Oh, that's it, come to me, thank you.
That one felt nice. Okay, back to that computer.
Right, so this is when he finds out the location is at a Roxxon building. So a little trick I'm going to do when I'm on the map screen, which you won't see mostly now, but you'll see it later. You can actually use the D-pad and the stick at the same time, and it doubles your movement speed while moving around the map. This doesn't work in the Peter game, but it does work in Miles. So I don't know why it doesn't work in Peter game and it works in Miles, but it does.
Fill him in.
Hey, did you find anything in Finn's shop?
Oh my god, Miles, just do movement, please, thank you.
Something happened to her brother. Something bad.
Alright, cool. So now we're going to break into Roxxon building. So I'm going to hit those two guys, smack those two guys. I'm going to pop in a bit of invisibility just for meter. I do that all the time, just when I'm bored. I'll pop in and out of invisibility for no real reason. Because the game empties your bar at some points anyway, so it doesn't even matter, but I pop in and out all the time.
That actually worked.
Right, so now we get to crawl through some vents. Insomniac decided to be little trolls here. There's there's a split path coming up. If you go down one of them, it circles you around if you you go that way, and it is the most obvious direction to go in because, you know. So yeah, there's a little split path there, but you want to go this way. If you go the other way, it just loops you around and it's very annoying. Alright, so we actually get to use a move which you never actually use in like Peter game at any point, but we use it. We have to use it here once, and that's this descend action here, which is this. You never. This is the only time in any of these games where you actually need to use this off the top of my head, in like the main story. There's a guy here, so we're gonna run to the middle and we're gonna do Mega Venom Blast. And one little cool thing that I like with that move, if you actually pay attention to like the electricity shapes and things, it's actually in the shape of a web, which is actually really cool. It's a really cool it's a really cool detail about it. Right, so this is that. I'm gonna go over there. And I'm gonna do that here. Cool. Oh, that doesn't matter too much. Alright, cool. In we go. Cutscene here, skip that.
So you're gonna tell me whose phone you're looking for?
Alright. So I wasted a remote mine there. It doesn't matter too much. I only need 3 for the rest of this mission anyway. So this is actually a really cool strat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a remote mine there. Set up a remote mine there. 1, 2, 3, 4. I love that strat. That's honestly one of like my favorite strats in this entire game. Is that right there? It's just such a cool strat where you like. So basically, the whole gimmick behind that strat is you actually use the guys getting knocked out to distract the other one. So this is one of the only map screens where you can't speed it up. So I can't speed up that one. But yeah. Yeah, that strat there is one of my favourites, and I'm not just being big-headed because that's like kind of one that I came up with. I just think it's a really cool way to deal with that room. Is just if you distract them in the right way using the other guards getting knocked out, they just get bodied. Right, so this one here, I'm going to do that. Go invisible. Do that on that guy. Do that on that guy. Explode that guy. Do that on that guy. Do that on that guy.
Just calling to make sure you're not hurt. Or, you know, dead.
Thanks. Actually got my uncle here helping me.
Subway worker guy?
Yeah. Turns out he's lost his problem.
That's kind of a big fight, but whatever.
Wait, the Prowler? The thief who runs around in purple?
I love doing that. Knocking off the edges and thing. And then we're going to try to go through the propellers like so.
A lot.
Got that on the second shot, which is pretty good.
Got your phone. Now
So,
let's leave.
That reactor killed my friend.
if you're playing the story for the first time, this is when Miles gets first introduced to the fact that he can explode in a bunch of energy. Because he basically takes this like a massive amount of energy from this generator into his body.
Stand back.
Like a wonderfully smart man. So he basically short circuits the generator, and that's kind of what you need to do in all the little side missions where you have where you go into all the Roxxon buildings. That's kind of one of this game's side mission things. You go inside Roxxon buildings and disable the generators. But now we have a nice section. We just have to walk forward, and we lose the thing that we came into this building for in the first place. We lose the phone, which is our whole reason for coming here. So we just wasted our time. Because of course we did.
Mom, talk to me, kid. You alright?
I feel like I just got dropped out of a
Alright. So this also empties your venom bar as well, but it gives you your invisibility back, so you can just do that. And by the time you get into the next fight, your invisibility comes back again, so you can just do it again.
I can't get to you before Roxxon does.
So by the time this guy's done like showing off to you and whatever, you can just pop in and out of invisibility and get back a venom bar to deal with him. Because these guys have shields, so the best thing to do is to do this. I want to make sure these guys are together, so I can do that and that. There we go. That's that dealt with. So whenever I'm knocking guys up into the air and webbing them, is I'm basically trying to sorry, just for a second there. I'm basically doing enough to them so then I can web them to walls and such.
Got another question for you, Rebel.
Yes.
Kramer asks, what do you think about a Gwen DLC?
What, as in playing as Spider-Gwen? Oh god, that guy is... I don't know. I don't know too much about Spider-Gwen actually. I'm not the most well versed in like the comic side of Spider-Man stuff. I'm mostly interested in like the games and things. But that would be cool.
And another question. Becky Chan asks, do you know why sometimes the Venom animation doesn't stop until you fight someone else?
I haven't got a clue. This game just does some really weird things sometimes with its like animations. But normally the reason why it doesn't stop for me is because I'm holding down the button to keep it active so I can do other stuff out of it.
It's not just that.
So if you just hold down the button, he just stays electrified the entire time until you press the X square or triangle button or the Venom explosion button. He just maintains the electricity field until that happens. But one thing which you can do, which I have a clip of on my channel, in that fight in particular, I've had Venom Dash miss a target when they moved, and I just flew straight through a wall and just out of bounds and died. And I was just like, I hate this game sometimes. Like, I don't understand. Right, so this cutscene here is about, is about Prowler and Miles basically like talking to each other and like understanding each other. But yeah, we get a lovely lovely conversation with those two, which goes straight into a wait. Cool. Right. So this waiter here. So again, I'm actually going to do some more phone call tricks. There's actually a couple of ways you can skip phone calls in this game. You can actually do what you do in Peter game, which is called a backpack skip. There are collectibles in that game called backpacks where you collect them and they have little trinkets and items in them. In this game they're called time capsules and they give you little audio clips. If you play the audio clip, it overtakes the phone call and like disables it for a few seconds. But in this game that doesn't spawn missions like it does in Peter game. It doesn't spawn missions any faster. So instead in this game what we do is we let dialogue get to a certain point and then by delaying the phone call over and over and over again, for some reason that just stops it. Oh dude, I didn't even realise there were mattresses there. So this phone call here with Gank I don't actually need to skip because you can skip it if you want, but like you don't need to because it only needs to go through before the Rio phone call occurs, which we can skip, and then a phone call with Finn occurs.
Well, good luck. Call if you need me.
So we'll stand here for a second. I make sure I'm in a particular position by the door, so then when the prompt appears to press triangle to open it, I can just open it straight away. If you're too close to the door, he just won't do it. He'll walk towards it, then walk away like a plum. And it's very, very frustrating and annoying. So, skipping a phone call. I'll probably have to do that one twice. She'll probably phone back again in like 15 or so seconds. Because that's generally how this game functions. And then after that, Miles will phone Finn. And you'll actually be able to tell. I'm not sure if you'll be able to tell on like my capture, because my capture card's only 30, while this game runs at 60. But the door flashes a little bit when the mission thing for it spawns in. There you go. Mission thing spawned in. The door disappears and comes back for a second, and then now the video phone call can't occur again. So Miles will phone Finn,
Finn, get her to let me in the underground.
and then once he's phoning Finn, we can then skip the
You okay?
Yeah. Why would you say that?
thing.
Oh,
So now we're gonna do this.
Looks like Tails should head over to me to get Tails. Looks like Tails was...
There we go. We enter the mission. Right, so there's actually a skip that you can do in this mission that I'm not very good at because I am just bad at this skip. It was found by one of my friends who runs KH but also runs Spider-Man games as well, my friend called Friel. And basically he found that if you walk onto the crane that we're going to walk onto in a couple of minutes, if you walk onto the crane at the right time,
I'm so sorry.
if you walk onto the crane in like the right way at the right angle, Miles doesn't go into his crouching animation on it, and then you can fall off of it, and basically it just ends the section 25 seconds earlier than if you walk along the whole crane. Excuse me, sorry.
Your mom got hurt at her rally. If that new Spider-Man hadn't shown up, everyone would have been fine.
Right, so this is them having their little heart-to-heart, and Miles taking his uncle's advice of just going to Finn and being like, I want to join the underground as Miles.
Good.
And basically them having their kind of little heart-to-heart.
It's my big secret. That's why I've been so busy. What's your excuse?
Right.
Well, school.
And Miles trying to be very discreet about why he's been very busy, when the reason why he's been busy is because he's been swinging around as Spoodermans for a little bit now. And obviously he hasn't told anyone apart from Gank or Peter.
I've been taking on a lot more responsibilities than
Dude, they even make reference to the responsibilities, dude. You gotta love it, dude. You gotta love the callbacks.
But I'm here to fix
Alright, so we have a short walking section coming up, which really is just a kind of a short setup for background story stuff, and then it goes into a mission where we have some fighting to do, and a short kind of stealth fighting bit where we take out some enemies in stealth to basically ensure that more enemies don't then spawn. It's kind of weird, so we're going to be doing that.
not. No worries. You're safe.
Alright, cool.
You're a good friend, Miles.
Right. While I'm getting all this walking going on Zelda, have you got anything you need to say?
Absolutely. We have a 10-euro donation from Anonymous. No comment, but thank you nonetheless. And also I want to quickly remind people that we are raising money for Mind, which is a nationwide organization committed to prevent mental health issues and to support everyone who is dealing with mental issues themselves or within their family. All of your donations will go to Mind.
Set up in the Kingpin's
Nice.
office space.
Right, so this here you kind of have to follow behind Finn. I'm actually taking a little bit longer to walk to some of the things than she is because Miles won't climb up them straight away if she stood in the way. So we'll take a little bit of a detour to go up there. Then as she's turning around, Miles will climb up. If you walk ahead of her here, you actually go a little bit slower. She has to be the one that's ahead of you because otherwise you don't get this short little jogging animation every now and then. On older patches of this, you could actually climb up onto the roof up there, and it was fairly amusing because you're just in front of Finn climbing up walls.
I can't take on Roxanne alone.
Right, I'm gonna try and go for crane skip. I'm hilariously known in the community for half-assly going for it because I'm very bad at it, even though I do just kind of run at it and pray because you get one shot at it. If you reset the checkpoint, the game has a checkpoint as Miles crouches on this crane, so you get one shot at doing this each run. So I just kind of go for it and then hope to God I get it. Do that, and I didn't get it. So your left foot has to walk onto the thing first. I was a little bit slow there, so my right foot walked on first. Yeah, you get one shot as soon as Miles crouches. There's a checkpoint, and yeah, you can't reset the checkpoint. So have another go. So it's a 25-second time saver if you do get it. So it is kind of nice. It is actually the only like actual glitch that we have in this game, but it is just we avoid a trigger to like walk on something then fall off of it basically.
But watch your back. These guys take a while to warm up to the temple. Here it is.
Right.
Where the plan comes
So now we're in the underground base, and this is in Fisk's tower. So at the beginning of Peter game, Mr. Peter Parker gets Mr. Fisk arrested, or otherwise known as the Kingpin, and then the police kind of board up his tower and they just did nothing with it. So Underground here broke into it and started taking all the money and all this other stuff to do all their stuff. So what we're going to do here is we're going to walk over to the sword. I have to actually do this. I have to press triangle on the sword, otherwise the dialogue doesn't like move on. And hopefully I can mess with this guy as well. For some reason this guy here like looks different directions and you can mess with him like this. I just do this while I'm waiting for Finn to stop talking. Just get his head to continuously turn.
Yeah, sure.
And then when she moves on, you can go around here. So what I got to do in here is I got to go talk to 3 different people about 3 different things. So here is more stuff from Peter game. These are the masks of Martin Lee's gang. I can't remember what they're called off the top of my head, but yes, they're the Martin Lee gang guys. Here is our boy Kingpin with stuff drawn all over him. And we have to go look at a projector which has a new story on it in a second, over here. And it's got a new story based around the bridge attack. And then over here there's this dude here with the little clipboard. This guy here is talking about how much money they have and how there's more in the basement. So we're going to go talk to this guy and the money. Look at all that cash. And while I'm waiting for him to stop talking, I just do this. Right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to walk up here. So this door here opens in a second, and this is honestly one of my favourite meme parts about the run when you speedrun it and you know what's going to open and when. So this door here opens, and we're walking ahead of all the guys, but then Miles pulls his phone out and starts talking to Gang about like suiting up to become Spider-Man while they're all jumping over him, which I just think is fairly amusing. Right, cool. So now we actually get to do some stuff. So pop in and out of invisibility there, just for a bit of extra buff. Right then, cool. So in this next fight, we actually want extra guys to spawn, but we don't want all of them to spawn. So I'm going to try taking out all the snipers in, basically in stealth or hidden, where they don't know I'm here. Do that. Take out that guy. Go up there. Take out that guy. Take out that guy. That guy. Just start taking out guys. Now I'm just going to start going ham on all these guys.
Time for a quick donation.
Yeah, I'm just punching some dudes.
Alright, we have 23 euros from Louis6321 saying 300 Pog.
Hell yeah. That. Oh, punch that dude first. Oh, there's a guy over here. That guy. Oh my god, there's actually 3 dudes still here. This is pretty bad. Is that last guy? That was the last guy. That was kind of slow.
Okay.
Right, I'll see if I can do this little thing as well. Right, so I'm popping in out of Venom here just so I can get some meter back.
I don't know. But they also found a bunch of secret passages in his house hidden behind art. So
Yeah, gotcha. I'm looking.
Pop in and out. Right, so let's see if I can do this.
I think I got something.
I did it! I love doing that. That's so stupid. I love doing that. If you're close enough, you can like Oh, and I pushed the barrel. Did you push the barrel out of bounds as well? I love getting caught on the little spinny thing there.
Fisk planned to use
So what I did there was I did the QTE to pull it, and then I just dodged into it. And if you dodge into it at the right angle, you get caught on it. And you just start spinning around. Right. The controls can flip on you here if you're not careful. They didn't flip on me there, and if they flip on you, you have to drop down from the wall and go back onto it because they're impossible to control. Excuse me. We get this nice leg shot of Miles if we let the camera do what it wants. God damn it, I'm trying to like turn here again. It's part of the reason why I don't really like the wall crawling in these games, is it puts you at really, really awkward angles sometimes. And it's very, very difficult to move the camera around because it gets caught on things when you're in tight spaces. Right, so the whole reason why Mars came in here is because he was looking for where they took the one vial of new form that Tinkerer took. So we're actually going to be seeing where they go. So Mars here is going to go invisible and get nice and close. And after this we have a fight where we have to kill some guys, and this is when it introduces us to the sword enemies. So the enemies thus far have been guns, snipers, and fists. So the gun ones are just regular thugs. You can just punch them, or you can venom them, or whatever. The fist ones, they block you in the front, but they're defenseless from behind, and they're defenseless against venom. The sword guys will dodge venom attacks that aren't venom grab, and they will dodge other punches as well. So you need to be very careful about dealing with them because they can be very annoying to deal with. When we deal with Finn later, she actually has very similar mechanics to them, but you can actually like catch her doing moves in particular ways. Which you can do that. We can do that to the sword guys, but it's easier to just venom grab them, which is like the dash attack thing, because that does the most amount of damage to them. And something else they like to do is that grab move there. They can do that in game as well, and it's very frustrating sometimes. So venom dash. But if they get caught by gravity well, they are pretty much defenseless. Cool, that's the end of that.
Cleaned up that photo you took of the map. Looks like the underground are squatting at old Fisk construction sites.
So now we have to wait for Mars and Gang to stop talking to each other, but I'm going to use this time to actually get as close as I can to the next mission spawn point. So then I don't have to move as far on the map when I go to fast travel to it.
If you're headed to the theater, I'm all in. If you're gonna check out those underground hideouts first, I know someone who can help.
Cool.
Right, hopefully I get back my Venom.
When I get to the theater.
Cool, and that's full Venom. Now I can just kind of chill.
Finn's not meeting the underground at the gym till later tonight. He'll probably have some time to check the app or whatever else he's doing.
Nice. That was a really good split. Alright, cool. So that puts us straight into this next mission here.
The new form of the gym theater. You're right, Genki. Underground are everywhere.
You might say they're overground?
Alright, cool. So we get another nice joke here when Mars touches this electricity thing. And he goes, ow. Because apparently it was 300 kilojoules. Which is quite powerful. One thing which is nice about these though is you can actually walk on top of them and it charges your venom venom bar if you don't have mags, if I remember correctly. But what we're just going to do is we're just going to go do this in a weird order. Like normally you go straight down, but I'm actually going to go over here, punch that guy, do that, do that on that guy. Go up here, get all these guys' attention. Guys, I want your attention, please. Come on. Jesus Christ, that was so slow. They just did not come at me. Right, so what I want to do is, I actually want to hide behind here for a second. Go invisible. And I don't have to fight any of them now. I can just deal with that one. Oh my god. Miles, please. And then I can just do that. So that guy didn't follow me, which is kind of bad, but that's fine. So now, here. Venom explode, which is one of the only times I use it in the run. Try and avoid the sniper. Oh my god, the sniper actually shot me midair. I love when that happens. Sniper, stop it, please. I'm trying to play the video game. Smack that guy. Smack that guy. Just stick with those two. And hopefully that should be those ones.
Any sign of the power source?
My god, that guy just was there, wasn't he? I lost a bunch of time there. That was very slow.
That did it. Barrier's fresh out of power.
That was very slow.
That was the way to the main auditorium.
Right, cool. So this here empties all your venom. I don't know why it empties your venom. It just does. And whenever you try and get it back, it just empties it back to 0 again. I don't know why it does that. It just does that. Lovely, lovely game design choices. So this here's another small puzzle room which you have to go through to get the PC down here to work. Because they pulled the plug on the PC. So what we're going to go do is we're going to go punch some electricity generators to get the PC working again. Just please, thank you.
Let's make a pros and cons list.
That
Who's your best friend?
definitely worked. Not how I intended, but it worked.
Talking to her is easier than sneaking around behind her back.
Other Spider-Man was super clear. Don't tell anyone.
Got a bunch more generators, and now we're gonna work with that. And now the PC works again. Hell yeah! Now we're gonna go down here. We're just gonna go get the attention of these guys. Go get the attention of these guys. And then we're gonna go down here. And that should be good. That was actually a really good fight. So the whole idea of what I was doing there is I was trying to aggro all the guys and get them all to come to me. So these guys with the shield, there's one way to deal with these guys, and that's to do that. Punch that guy. Oh my god. Miles. Do your job, please, buddy. That's what I'll ask you to do. God damn, that was really slow. It's still sub 5 on the second timer. That's fine. Okay, cool. Should I do that? There's actually a hot meme you can go for here. This is a chase section, but you can actually do what I did earlier to get a launch, but it launches you like 1,000 meters away from Finn, and you like auto fail the chase. It's very amusing. I'm not going to go for it because it does like lose a bunch of time, but when we were first looking into launches, we found this one and we all cried laughing. So because Miles pulls himself forward here, that position you're in where he's like flying forward, you maintain it for like years basically. So this here, we're going to chase Finn throughout the city. If you go too far above her, it does try and fail the mission. So I'm basically trying to like stay at like a particular distance away from her to avoid the projectile she flings at me, but not far enough away that she can like actually escape. Cool, that's my max venom bar. Right. So she kicks you away, and we're gonna chase her again. So this chase section is split into 3 different parts. So that's the first one. Here's the second one. I'm not sure if this can happen here, but in some missions in this game, if you Venom Dash too early, the game can go into like a slowdown thing for a like short period of time, and the faster way to fix it is to reset your checkpoint.
Slow down! Do you think I'm stupid? You want to hear this, I promise.
Now I'm going to try staying as high as possible to gain some meter. Cool, I got my meter. And now to just continue on. Right. Hopefully this doesn't mess up. The boat is a actual hecker. So this part here is incredibly easy to fail. It's very annoying and I hate it. Cool, I'm not going to fail it. Cool, that was fine. That looks incredibly easy, but sometimes Miles will lose all of his speed, and if he does, you can't Venom Dash or Web Zip. And then you should also fail that bit because you can't get out of the water. So we've got to avoid these death saws. If you get hit by them, it just throws you down the building and you lose time. It doesn't really matter on your HP because we are on Friendly Neighborhood and your HP gets restored all the time in this game. We get flung around a bit by Finn here. And then we unmask ourselves to her and she has a oh god moment. And then after this, we're going to go talk to our old buddy, Uncle Aaron. Through another short side content based mission. So we got our lovely unmasking here.
Can we just...
Right. Someone in chat, is she carrying the saws in her pocket? No, so Tinkerer's gimmick is that she has these little nanomachine things that can make objects for her. And basically she can make them make giant saws and swords and things. Basically, it's called programmable matter in this. There's actually a suit that you can get called the programmable matter suit.
Hey, how'd it go with Finn?
And basically,
You still at my place?
I'm actually at home.
it's a suit that morphs to what you need it to do. So in one of the side missions, you use it to complete a task, basically.
I'll call you later.
But of course, in this game, silly fashion, if you change the suit during the mission, you just do it with whatever suit you have on anyway. So it's just a cosmetic thing. But yeah, it's like a piece of tech that she made. Right. So again, we have another one of these lovely
Thanks, man.
one of these spaces where Insomniac gave us the ability to go on a lovely little free roam and do some stuff. But what we're going to do is we're going to go to where the mission spawns, and we're going to go wait there because. Of course we are. So if you got anything you want to talk about Zelda, feel free to go.
Unfortunately no donations at the moment, but I would like to quickly remind people that for those of you just joining in, we are the Benelux Speedrunner Gathering. We organize bi-monthly gatherings in the Benelux for speedrunners. Due to the situation surrounding COVID-19, we're currently doing our events online for the time being. This event features streamers from both the Benelux and the rest of the world, bringing you entertainment during the lockdown. We are raising money for Mind, which is a nationwide organization committed to prevent mental health issues and to support everyone who is dealing with mental health issues themselves or within their family. All of your donations will go to Mind.
Wait, the program. No. So essentially, in the game's quote-unquote plot for that side mission, the programmable matter suit has got a functionality, but it doesn't need to be equipped to use it. It's just a cosmetic thing that, like, in the game's story, has the effect of doing something. I can't remember what the side mission is. It's been forever since I've done all the side missions in this game. So yeah, we are waiting here to talk to our buddy Uncle Aaron. One of my favourite things in this game is if you look at Miles's feet, he's not actually touching the bar, and it's very amusing. It gets me every single time I look at it. His feet are just hovering in midair. Nice and hovering. Right, so this mission here that we're coming up on is a side mission based around a bunch of little audio files. So this side mission here is Miles's uncle and Miles's dad, who's actually a prominent character in like the first bit of the first Spider-Man game. started like recording like a mixtape using sounds from around the city as like the basis for the beats of the music. And basically because him and because Uncle Aaron and Miles's dad fell out, they didn't finish it. So one of the tasks that we have is to go finish it. We don't need to do it in the speedrun, so it's all good. It's just funny that this mission is just we get to talk to Uncle Aaron for a little bit. We do we play the game for like 20 seconds, and then they have another bit of their heart-to-heart, where basically Uncle Aaron's trying to like help Miles, but in turn he's also setting Miles up to get Finn captured, because you know the type of bloke Mr. Uncle Aaron is, because he is the Prowler. But I do actually really enjoy like the like dynamic of Miles and Prowler in this like story. It's like definitely a better dynamic than the Miles Finn one, in my opinion, in this story. But I understand why they wouldn't have made the entire plot about like Prowler, because I'm not sure what they could have actually done to make like an engaging plot of it after, like, you know, Spider-Verse having the better one. Alright, so this here wants us to go talk to the buoyancy thing over here. There we go. And that's the end of the mission. Again, mash buttons to skip that, and then we can just exit the map early. Right, hopefully at the start of the next bit the mission spawns incorrectly, because I've been having issues with it the last couple of runs of it not spawning incorrectly.
You were right about clearing my head too. I know what to do about Finn. I gotta see her. Try to talk her out of all this. Trinity Church. Tomorrow night.
Alright, so we're going to go to Trinity Church. This is one of the only times where in a wait we're actually going to use our fast travel, because Harlem and Trinity Church are quite a ways away from each other, and we can't get there in the amount of time in like the amount of time that the wait is. So we're going to get to see nice and fast map movement, because again, as I mentioned earlier in a earlier mission, if you use both the D-pad and the stick direction on the map, it doubles the speed, because it takes both the inputs and goes, yeah, I'll roll with it, and just lets you speedy through the map. So yeah, we're going to be doing that, and then we're going to go talk to Finn, and then we get into honestly my least favourite mission in this run, just because of how it's weirdly difficult, and it's not difficult for the right reasons either. It's just kind of weird. So our boy Miles here went home and had a nap until morning. Of course he did it fully clothed, and then he's just going to stand up and get about his day. Alright, so again, we're going to be doing a little bit of a trick with the phone call that we're going to have. There is actually a phone call with Gank that can spawn in here, which I'm going to hopefully not get that to spawn in. That was perfect map movement, by the way. That is a lot harder than it looks to control. Oh god. Okay. I'll be able to tell you if the building is prepared itself. So if we go over here.
Alright.
Hey guys, the building worked. That's how I know the building spawned incorrectly. Because it glitches out like that.
We need to talk. In person.
So you can lie to me again?
Should head over to we hit a take.
That's how you know the building works, because it glitches out and throws you off. Which is very amusing.
Tell me you're Spider-Man.
Because basically when it turns from a regular building to a cutscene building, this game goes, I don't know what to do with it, and you can't web zip onto it. And if you get a like web zip icon stuck on your screen, it just sits there for like an extra like 2 or 3 minutes.
What Krieger did to Ricky.
So
Roxanne needs to not like
and it's also very funny because he gets caught in like the forward animation. That's his venom grab animation, the venom throw on, the venom dash. It's just very amusing that he gets caught in that animation.
I made a promise.
So this is them having their little hot talk, and what I like about this as well, in like the context of this story, is that Miles doesn't actually tell Finn that like, you know, what she's actually in the wrong for like wanting to like get some sort of revenge on Roxanne for what they did to Rick Mason, her like her brother or someone she considered a brother. I can't remember the exact relation. I think they're brother. But then Miles doesn't like reprimand her for like doing what she's doing. He just goes, "You're going about this the wrong way. You're just going to get more people hurt. I'm down to help you, but you can't do it like this."
You're right. Usually.
Which is a really cool element of the story. But something else which is very amusing, if like you were paying attention, he says to he says to Prowler that we'll be going there tomorrow night. This looks like this is very much midday, not nighttime. So how the hell does Rhino and Roxanne know that they're going to be here talking to each other? I'm just saying that like Mars says it's nighttime, then we're here in daytime. So our boy Rhino here has been upgraded with some lovely red Roxanne armor, which we dubbed him Red Rhino for this reason. So he's unaffected by venom electricity now. So he really throws us for a loop. And there's our boy Simon Krieger. And this is where we unlock Mega Venom Blast in the story. But I've already used it a few times because we have it early on. Because it's New Game Plus. But that's the point where this is the point where you unlock it normally.
Are you okay? They were gonna kill you.
Alright, cool.
Holy shit.
Alright, so we have some short little just walking around the lab mission as Finn and Miles here.
Let's find a way out of here.
I'm just going to muck about here because I have to wait for Finn to get to a computer anyway. So I'm just going to pop in and out of Venom a couple of times and just do this
Kept Rhino instead of killing
while I'm just waiting for her to do her movement. Or I didn't mean to do that. Miles, get off to it.
About Roxanne surprises me anymore.
You okay?
I will be. Once we're out.
Pop in that Venom again.
I'm shutting off security cams.
We're going to use this lovely computer here. So we actually get a. So I mentioned earlier about a fight that if you do it completely in stealth, the game soft locks. We're actually coming up on that mission now,
Base lockdown first. From the control.
and it's a fairly annoying like mission.
We need to escape the security room. I'll go down to the floor.
Fairly annoying fight a lot of the time. It's fairly inconsistent, but I have got a strat that I'd like to go for, but it doesn't always work. So I'm going to try and do the strat I normally do, and it should work out.
Venom worked in the cell. Should work in the door.
Pop in that again. So this one here doesn't actually use any of your venom thing. It actually gives you a bar of venom for some reason. Most other ones use it. This one goes, no, you can have it. It's all good.
That security door is our way out, but I'll have to hack a few terminals
Cool.
to
So,
stop the alarm.
I'm gonna take down that guy. Take down that guy. Do that twice. And that should be lost it. Okay, that guy was stuck in the wall. That should be the last one though. That's fairly annoying. That guy got stuck in the door there, which is kind of annoying.
Looks like some kind of
But that's all good. That was only like 2 or 3 seconds of time loss. Probably 5 at most. Alright, cool. Alright, so yeah, all these unskippable cutscenes, right? What's this one? Yeah, we can skip him opening a door though. Easy peasy every time. Open the door, we don't need to see that.
Is that the reason we couldn't capture?
came through here. We actually get another puzzle right now, so we're actually going to do a checkpoint restart here. Because once we go through this door, once the shutter starts coming down, if we restart the checkpoint, it actually pushes Finn further into the room, saving like 3 or 4 seconds.
So when he passed those security shutters,
So now I'm just going to punch this until it lets me through it. It's funny how the shock just destroys stuff behind it.
there, step out.
Right, so we got another short little puzzle here, where we have to pull this arm back and forth.
But I can move machinery, like that crane.
Maybe we can use that. I'll look around.
We build engines so that we can see season.
God, I was in the wrong position. Really?
Hey, cranes over this engine.
God, this game and its positioning sometimes is very annoying. So she picks up the engine here with that. We're going to bring that back over here.
Okay, this laser should activate the engine.
Bring that over here.
Crap, laser shorted out.
Web those two together.
You're good. Use a laser.
We need to go over here. So now this powers it, and what we're going to do is we're going to throw it at that thing up there so we can get through it.
I overcharged the engine.
So I'm going
And explosive is
Venom jump and
those shutters.
throw it up there.
Let's go. Almost
And then
out.
we're going to go through it. Nice. That's a fairly quick mission thus far. So there's an unspeakable cutscene here. After this, we actually get into probably the hardest part of this in... Like, this is probably the hardest section to get right in the entire game.
Alright. I'll take care of those guards.
So there's a room full of enemies coming up. And I have to do the entire room in stealth or more enemies spawn in. If I get more enemies, you lose about 15 to 30 seconds depending on how many enemies come in, because there are 2 different waves. If one person sees you, then one wave comes in. If more than one person gets aware of your things, 2 different waves of enemies come in. So yeah, I'm going to try and do this entire room in stealth to avoid that, but the stealth strat is really difficult because enemy AI in this are very sensitive to sound. So even being invisible doesn't really help you too much. So I'm going to be trying to do most of this without being seen by the enemy. So if I go quiet for a second, it's because I'm trying not to mess the hell up.
Those guys with the lights on their helmets can spot heat signatures. They'll see you if you try to go invisible.
Right, so normally the first few kills are like fairly consistent. You have to like, then you have to like
Millions of dollars in untaxed money. Clear the floor, all
ad-lib a couple at the very end.
I can still access machinery.
Cool.
Move anything.
That guy's in a weird position for once. Get rid of that guy. You also have to be careful of the ceiling fans in this section. The ceiling fans get in your way. It's fairly annoying.
Yeah, those webs are holding the door. Whole base is on alert though. Just be careful.
Really, that guy was like...
You're here. They're calling reinforcements.
Guess I'm doing this the loud way.
I'm going to get more enemies because that guy's in the wrong position, which is very annoying, but I'm going to have to deal with it.
I know you don't trust
But luckily I'm right here, so I can just do that.
What can I do to change that?
Stop going behind my back. And stop acting like I haven't thought this through.
And then I can just do this.
When I take down the phone, no one can be stuck on rocks on. No.
Just promise to talk it through with me, okay? Promise to listen. Really listen.
Might be the last enemy there. That was the last enemy.
Start accepting that.
That was kind of slow, but because that guy was in the wrong position. Not a lot I could have done about that, but that's fine. So, here's another Rhino fight out of nowhere. So Rhino here is covered in armor, so we gotta knock him into stuff and then we can punch him. So there's one cycle, we're gonna go over here like this. And run him into another tank. And 1-2 hits. That'll finish that. So I don't need to worry about any of the sideline guys. Basically, like, Finn will take care of them. Luckily, whenever Finn takes out an enemy in this room, you actually get gadgets back if you've got them used. So sometimes Finn will get you gadgets back, which is fairly nice. So I'm going to do that, throw that into him. Right, so he's going to walk towards another tank and he's going to throw it, or he's going to throw some rocks at me. Where are you going, Rhino? Stop, please, for the love of God. God, Rhino's going to lose me so much time now. Right, cool. So this last cutscene here. He gets his armor knocked off of him. Alright, cool. So I'm going to lose about 10 to 15 here. If he doesn't body me at the very end, which he can do. 1, 2, 3. There we go. I lost 3. Nice. Because my PB had a pretty bad mission there anyway. Nice. Actually nice. Right. So there's a cutscene here where Mars finds out what's happening with Roxxon. So basically, they changed the specs of the reactor that Finn wants to shove the new form into to disrupt it. So basically, it'll vaporize all of Harlem if she actually goes through with it. While Miles is doing this, Rhino here is taunting Finn, saying that he knows about what happened to her brother, just telling her, "Oh, it was all your fault." And then she gets all mad, stabs him with a sword, and then goes nuts on Miles, which is fairly amusing because it's just comes out of nowhere, dude. Comes out of absolutely nowhere. Just get this notification. Right, cool. So yeah, she's about to stab him. Miles is like, no. So yeah, we don't actually know if Rhino dies or not because it's never actually stated. He just has a sword left in him from that cutscene. And then she goes all nuts on Mars. She just suddenly changes and beats him up, and he's like, "What the hell are you doing? Calm down, please stop." And then what's even more amusing is there's a cutscene in between this and the next one, which is unskippable. Which is skippable, which I love. So you have to be paying attention during unskippable cutscenes because there are skippable ones that are in the middle of them. In some cases, like this one. So while I'm skipping through cutscenes and doing stuff as Zelda, if you've got anything you want to say, feel free to go ahead.
Absolutely. I just wanted to quickly plug some incentives once again. First off, we have the Risaka boss crash, which basically means that if you... hang on, let me get text back up. If you kill the first boss of the game too fast, or more precisely, before it does a single attack, the script breaks a little bit and it gets very confused on what to do, and basically it results in a crash, but not entirely, because the game still tries to read audio data, so it, like, gets a bunch of, like, buggy audio results, and it's actually pretty amusing. So if you want to see that, get your donations in as well. We currently have about 20 euros from the 75 that we need. And we also have, for Resident Evil Village, we have the language choice. You have the options between French, Japanese, Italian, German, English and Brazilian Portuguese, with currently French being in the lead with about 5 euros. So if you want to see French, get a little bit of more heads up, or see any other language, see any other language as well, get your donations in.
Nice. Alright, so we're actually heading towards the Science Centre now. So this is another free roam where the game doesn't tell you where to go, but I know where to go, so we're going to be going. So I'm just going to be doing some movement. And one thing which I have to make sure I do is set remote mines as my active gadget, because I need it at the start of the next boss fight. And I'll explain more when I'm in the fight about why, because it kind of manipulates his AI to like do specific things, and if you don't have it set up, you can't manipulate his AI. So I'm just moving over here. I normally have been getting an extra phone call with Gank here recently, but the extra phone calls in this game are kind of random, and they're not always worth it to like skip. Because after a certain point, missions will just start spawning in anyway, so they'll skip the phone calls for you. Right, so just to make sure, I'm gonna go that. Alright, so here we're going to be waiting for Gank to phone us, and Gank's basically going to tell us that the new form is in this building over here. We're going to sit here and wait for Gank to tell us that, and then the mission will spawn in, which takes us to the next bit. So, it's very amusing what happens in this next mission. So, the reason why I hang out up here is because when you're down there with all the civilians, sometimes crimes can spawn in. And if you're too close to crimes, you get stuck in it. And when you're in crimes, the countdown timer for weights doesn't actually tick down, and it slows down even more when you get the slowdown of hitting random enemies and things. So, see, there's a crime over there. See, there's a crime over there as well. It says crime in progress. If we were anywhere near that, it would put us in the crime. So luckily, because we're up here, away from everything, it's not going to bother us. If you want to be even further away, you can go over here and just chill as well. Or like go down there. You can actually go over and into the science center if you want to. But here's actually close enough to where you need to be for it to not body you. So here's our boy Gank.
I found Finn's setup, Oscorp Science Center.
It's that line.
Energy converter.
And now we're just going to skip the text. And we get shot in the butt by our boy Uncle Aaron here. So Uncle Aaron here shoots us in the back and then takes us to his underground, to a part of the underground, and puts us in a cage. And this is where we get into the Prowler boss fight. So the Prowler boss fight's pretty consistent if you do it correctly. So the reason why I wanted to be on remote mines for the start of this fight is because you can manipulate it as AI to work much more in your favour if you don't press any buttons or any directions, and this includes changing gadgets and things. If you don't do anything at the start of the fight, he does the same thing every single time, which makes the first phase consistent if you execute it correctly. Otherwise it's random, because he just teleports to random places and tries to hit you, and it gets very annoying very fast if you don't do this right. And it loses you a lot of time if like you don't do this right, so I'm going to try and make sure that everything is done correctly here. Right, so he's telling Miles, I don't want you to do this, blah blah blah, and Miles is going, but I'm Spoodermans, I gotta protect the people. With great power comes great responsibility and all that.
That's the best you can do. You threw me in a
So, yep.
Like this is protecting
Miles going to get all pissy and break through the wall with his Venom Punch, because he can just do that.
And I'm not gonna let people die just to save my skin.
So I'm going to prepare for phase 1. Hopefully phase 1 goes well, because if phase 1 goes well, the rest of this normally goes well for me. So he'll come at me to the same place every time. Cool, phase 1 went perfect. Cool, perfect phase 1.
Then I'll do it. You don't realize I'm the only one trying to save you.
And I'm trying to save everyone else.
Right, second phase always starts in the same way as well. So he's going to try and shoot us, but we're going to dodge and jump to shoot another remote mine at him. So dodge and jump to that, and we're going to go over here. Cool. Second phase went well. Right, so third phase here. Third phase, he summons a bunch of clones. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the gravity well to bunch all the clones together, then we're going to switch back to remote mine once we hit him. So we're going to walk forward, do that, go 1, 2, 3. We're going to go over here. Good fight. Good fight. Good fight. Wasn't perfect, but it was a good fight. It's very, very hard to get a perfect fight though. So that was a good fight.
I let you down.
Right, so this mission, the start of this mission here is where we're going to go and we're actually going to go to the science center now. And this is this game's point of no return, is going to the science center. So Miles and Aaron here have their little heart to heart about how
That's how it happened between me.
how
I don't want to repeat.
Miles and Aaron are very different people.
But I can't be the person you want to turn me into. I can't turn my back when people need me.
And Miles tells him, I ain't turning my back on people.
I have to be better than that.
And we get another part where movement is actually incredibly key. This is one of the only points on the PS5 version where the map doesn't load in instantly. There's a little bit of pop-in. There it is. There's the sky. And it destroys me every time because I'm like, wait, is my console broken? No, it's just the game. Like the loading screen is so like non-existent there. So if you don't know anything about the PS5 versions of the Spider-Man games, you actually have to turn on the loading screens, which is incredibly hilarious.
What I had to do. I'm headed for
Right, so I'm building... The reason why I did multiple things there is because I was building up Venom Bar. To make sure I had at least one bar coming into this, because it takes away one of your Venom meters. Restarting the checkpoint in there skips the cutscene. That's one of the only instances where that occurs. So now I'm going to go around this bit here and punch some dudes. Hit that guy. Invisible hit that guy. Do that on that guy. So the reason why I did that is because I was waiting for guys to come at me, then I'm going to go. I'm actually fine with that. That guy. Got there. That guy. There's lots of them. Right. Oh, that was the last guy. This is very good, that is. Right, cool. So. Now we're going to go over here and do this. Right, so there's another little puzzle here which you have to do. We have to go activate all these little things to basically discharge the massive gate that's in our way.
That's one. Feeling good. Now this is working. Couple more.
I didn't want to get the roll there, but whatever. I did not mean to launch a gravity well there. That's very, very annoying. So I'm down a gravity well now, which is workable, but that's very annoying.
I can't believe how well this is working.
Oh my god, Miles, what the hell are you doing, man? How the hell did you do that? That was just silly. I'm very upset about that. I'm very salty that that occurred. Entering here at 4 minutes is average. I might be losing I've already probably lost like 5 or so here. So charge super jump here. So it takes away all your controls here. If you charge some super jumps and stuff, you can get through there a little bit faster. Alright.
Come on. We need to finish this. You and
So this is an abandoned science centre which Finn and Miles actually came to a few years ago to see their competition entry in a gallery. So we're actually going to play a short mission here as Human Miles again. But this one's pretty short. This is actually, we're doing stuff basically the entire time. So back on the first patch of this game, Miles had a really incredibly funny run animation going up that ramp, and it destroyed me so much. It was very, very hilarious.
There's the elevator.
Do you have tickets for the special exhibit?
Oh,
Right, so
project is on display. Didn't think
this woman here tells us we need a ticket to go see our thing, even though our thing won.
Thanks anyway.
Cool, I actually broke the auto lock. Yes, I love when that happens. That saves like a couple of seconds to break the auto lock there, which stops you from moving over here faster. It doesn't always occur, but you can do that. I saved back a little bit of the time I lost in the first bit.
It'll open.
flashlights are
Alright, cool. So I'm gonna run over here.
reach.
Do 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 do.
It'd be nice to find something beautiful.
Changes shape?
Alright.
You breaking up.
Talk here about this mutable thing, which is fancy vocab apparently.
Shape memory.
But basically it's just the thing that changes shape. So we're going to grab this thing that changes shape, but I have to wait for their dialogue to finish, so I'm just going to mash some buttons while I'm waiting. Okay. Here's our obligatory Peter
Sorry.
cameo with our boy Otto Octavius, which if you know the story of that game is big hit in the sad feels. gigantic smack in there. We're going to grab this solar mirror.
Look, solar mirrors.
And we're going to go to the door. So what we're doing all this for is there's a little lock on the right, and that basically unlocks if you shine light on it. So what we're going to do is we're going to try shine light on it, which is what they're doing. So you've only got to transform it twice and move it once. You would have thought it would be a bit more complex than that, but that's what you got to do. Transform it twice, move once. And now we can go.
That was awesome.
Right. This is also another one of my favourite parts because there's this horrible texture down here. Like, this is just, I don't even know how to explain this. While we're waiting for the lift, I tend to look at this and go, what the hell is occurring down there? Like, bruh. You can actually go out of bounds outside this building as Miles when he's in Spider costume, Spider-Man outfit, but like, it doesn't do anything. You can't get into this bit of the game. So like, it has been useless to us, like, trying to do stuff with it. Oh, God.
Make sure you get a picture of your project.
Dad, it's not a big deal.
Alright, cool. So we're going to go see our science project now. I've actually, like, forgot that you have to move in this section before and just stood here for like a minute going, where's the cutscene? And I'm like, oh wait, I have to go and actually talk to the thing. I'm not going to do that today because because I'm paying attention for once.
Think they got a converter all hooked up?
Going to go over here. Right. Right. While this cutscene is playing, Zelda, have you got anything you want to talk about? Because we're getting into pretty end game action packed stuff soon, so.
Would you look at that?
Yeah, I have a pretty quick €20 donation from Eden with no comment, but thank you nonetheless. And yeah, I just wanted to once again quickly plug the oh god, what's it called? The Risaka Boss Crash incentive, which basically means that if you kill the first boss of the game way too quickly, the game gets all confused and it crashes, but it still tries to read out data, so you get like a bunch of weird audio errors, and our runner really wants to show that one off. So if you want to see that happen, we have about €20 in right now from the 75 that we need. So if you want to see that happen, get your donations in. And as always, we also have the Resident Evil Village incentive, where you can choose the language. You can choose between French, Japanese, Italian, German, English, and Brazilian Portuguese. And currently, French is in the lead with €5. So if you want to see French get more of a lead going on, or if you want to see any other language, get your donations in as well.
Nice. Alright, so we have a lovely, pretty long fight now actually. So we're going to do that. I'm actually going to go and do this. Go in there, grab him a little bit. Get on that guy.
Oh, come on! This is my favorite museum!
The underground just showed up. Saw rocks on fire. Close down a tunnel on a rock.
Where are you?
Near your apartment. Trying to find shelter.
Get to Deo's bodega. I'll be there soon.
We'll keep everyone safe as long as we can.
We gotta take care of them before I head back to Harlem. They'll kill you!
Alright, cool. Right.
I need to get to Harlem.
Right, cool. I lost 12 seconds there.
Finn destroys the
Fairly annoying, but whatever.
Yankee, talk
Right.
to me.
If you Venom Dash too early at the start of this mission, you can actually cause a bunch of slowdown here. So I'm actually not going to do that, because you have to restart the checkpoint if you get a bunch of slowdown. So now that I'm past the very beginning of it, I can do some Venom Dashes and get away with it.
Where are you? Yankee! If you can hear me.
Right, so this is another section where your movement's actually like matters, so I'm actually trying to move optimally here.
Never seen a storm this bad.
That's fine. That was normal.
Yankee, can you hear me? Yankee.
Alright. So we have a pretty long fight here where we have a bunch of dudes that we have to deal with.
I'm gonna destroy this park. Businesses haven't been damaged yet. That's not gonna keep us gonna stop the fighting.
Cool, that's that guy down. We're gonna go throw that guy, throw that guy. Oh god, I didn't use two left, whatever.
May I quickly announce something?
Yeah, go on.
Alright, we have 50 euros from Noah saying thank you for everything and keep it up, which means that we have indeed met the incentive for the Risaka boss crash. So thank you very much for your donations.
Nice. Throw that dude. That guy. Get some meter back. So that guy. Oh my god, can I just actually do that? Oh my god, can I actually like not be a prune, please? Right, there we go. So now that's that bit done. That was really slow. That guy.
I'm headed east. Who are you? Hiding in Taylor's bodega. Really bad.
Put those two guys.
I'm close, but I need to take care of boss son
To that dude.
before the streets are safe.
That dude.
It's our apartment building. This will burn down. Getting lost in a blizzard. Need to head toward the gunfire.
Cool. So just gonna go to here. Uh-huh.
Seems like this is the heart of the fighting. Gotta stop them here.
How the hell are there still people here? Oh, I just got a random venom explosion. That can happen sometimes. Oh, that was really slow. Lovely. When you're low on stuff, you sometimes get a random venom explosion for free.
You guys make a break for it?
Everything just kind of went wrong there. So,
Guys. Listen.
right. So there's this cutscene here, right? So this cutscene here is basically setting up Miles discovering that Finn's started her thing. This cutscene did actually used to be skippable, but the problem with it is on the PS4 versions of this, if you skip this if you skip the next two cutscenes, which is this one and the one after it, the PS4 version couldn't load correctly. So yeah, they changed it. But they applied that change to the PS5 version as well, which didn't need that because the PS5 could actually load the next bit. So, yeah. If all goes well in this boss fight, this is actually going to be incredibly close to PB. This was actually on PB pace until the last mission, which is pretty cool, to be honest with you. So we're definitely coming in underestimate. So this bit here, Mars is going to get punched about by Finn a little bit more, and then we're going to fight Finn. So Finn is a 4-phase boss fight. She has very similar gimmicks to the sword people. We're going to be trying to attack her when she's in the middle of animations and doing stuff on the first phase, because that's when she's most like the sword people. Then in phase 2, 3, and 4, we just need to make sure we do enough damage to her to pass through the phases. Phase 4 is the most important one to like get the damage right. Even though you can't actually see the HP bars, you basically just have to have a vague idea of like what her HP ranges are and what happens depending on where you are in the HP ranges. So yeah. So she's going to descend down this building here, then we're going to get into a boss fight. Alright, so, first phase. So, first phase, because she has a sword, she's like the sword guy. So what we're going to do is we're going to run at her. And we're going to... Oh my god, I actually missed the punch, which is very annoying. Cool, and then I have to get that punch there like that. And then do that. Cool, that was an incredibly slow phase one because she dodged the punch. God damn it. Damn it. Why do you do this to me, video game? That first punch is really hard to get. She didn't actually do the attack she normally does. But this phase here is pretty simple. You just wait for her. You dodge that, then you get a free punch on her. And then you get a free finisher. Really, game? I'm just getting absolutely bodied in this boss fight right now. This is incredibly silly. So restart checkpoint here. This forces her to do one of her attacks. This forces her to do this attack here.
Just wanted to chime in and let you know so we don't work.
Cool. We're gonna go over here and start punching her now.
This building blows. Hell, we'll find all the apartment roads. I mean, do you have any idea what kind of insurance they've got? They victims of a terrorist.
Just start punching her. Then she's gonna jump over here, throw some death swords at us, and we're gonna try and dodge this attack.
All right, later, kid.
Oh, God, this is going horribly right now. I'm just trying to do enough damage to her to... And then she should be actually fine on HP now too. There you go. Right, this is kind of slow. This is going to be losing like 20 seconds or so, I feel like. But it's all good. So now she's in final phase of the fourth phase. So now we have to dodge attacks. Stop her from doing that attack. I hit her a few times to make sure she's on 1 HP. Because if she's not, because she basically does this. She throws you back infinitely until she's at 1 HP. And I'll be able to tell you if she's at low health. Cool, last phase. Dodge that one. Dodge that one. Dodge that one. Nice. And that's the end of the fight. Alright, cool. So I'm losing about 20-25 here overall from that split. That's fine. So, the end of this run is kind of anticlimactic. So we just had that massive boss fight, right? Now we have a few unskippable cutscenes, and then after this is when the run ends. So during this end bit, I'll definitely be doing my shout and stuff. So shout outs to the bigger like Spider-Man community, especially the Spider-Man PS4 guys. A lot of them that run the PS4 game have also runs this one. So like Dutch Potato, Burke Maverick, my buddy Pessimist. Obviously I mentioned him earlier. Frill does a lot of stuff with some of these games every now and then when he's not playing KH1. Shout out to all those guys. There's also another guy who doesn't really do runs, but he's kind of the glitch finder of the community called Saigyo. Saigyo does a lot of stuff finding like all the glitches and all the small things that we use. He's the one that found the share menu stuff for the launching, and like the and like manual save glitches and stuff and all this other stuff. He finds where to go out of bounds and stuff all the time. So he's really, really important to the community growth. Yeah, so I'm trying to think of if there's anyone else I want to give shout outs to. So this final bit here we have to hold forward for like a minute and a bit, and then when Miles gets up to the big glowing orb, which he's gonna punch, it's about 30 seconds from when he gets there to when the run ends. I will try and call it at the right time. It's actually on the end. So the reason why we have to play through all of this is because there's actually an extra input at the very end of this. There is a QTE that you have to input on. You won't see the QTE because I have QTEs turned off, But yeah, I know when it happens, so I will call it. So time's coming up in about 40 seconds, 45-ish. So be ready on that check.
A quick question for you, Rebel.
Yes.
Were you still interested in potentially showing off a few out-of-bounds glitches?
I can do that, yeah. I can do that in remastered, yeah.
Just to have a little bit of, not long, but a little bit of time.
Yeah. Oh, I only need about, I would only need max 5 to 10 minutes to show off like a couple of them and how easy it is to do it. Alright, cool. So, yeah, we're losing a lot of time, but yeah, it's all good. For context, this run was actually on world record pace for a majority of it. The final few missions really screwed me out of it, but that's all fine. This run was incredibly good. So, time's coming up in about 10-ish to 15, so. Just make sure I get it right. And time. So, as approximately like a 2:20:12 with on my timer. Give me a second. So what that actually is. I want to know what that actually is on actual timing. 2:20:12. So with our actual timing, that's a 1:27:41, which is actually insane. A 1:27 in a no reset is incredibly good. Yeah, cool. So if you want me to show off some stuff, I will quickly quit this game and I will load up Peter game. Give me a second to. Give me a second just to load up Peter game. Oh no, that's the wrong game. I don't want to load up Genshin. No, not Genshin. We don't want a gacha. We're not gacha gaming. I need this game. Alright, we got to sit through the opening because I haven't loaded up this game in a while. Normally on the PS5 versions, it'll skip these if you've had the game open for a while. Yeah, dude, put in waifus on stream. That's exactly what we're doing. Alright. Let me load up this one. Is it this one? This is that one. Alright, cool. Where am I here? I'll go back up where I am. Alright, cool. So what I will do is so just to make this a bit easier, I'll show you off a couple of them. So this one here is in the Turf Wars DLC. So did I set my final correctly for this? I did. So I got to quickly play through this fight real quick. Give me a second here.
And I'm caught in the middle. Of course. Can't believe Hammerhead picked a dilapidated sanitarium for his home base. No, wait. I can totally
Give me a second here, just to do this. So at the end of this, there is a glitch that you can do.
Sneak in and grab Hammerhead.
Go over here.
Get Hammerheads, guys! Concentrate on the spider!
Oh my god.
Hammerheads, guys, fighting the
Alright, so.
Raj is like coming
Yeah, the only reason why I said 6% progress is because, this is a save file that I used for starting the DLC runs.
Let me think. How about,
I need one more drone back game, please.
maybe Stingray? Stick with the aquatic theme.
Oh, that's fine.
Spitballing here. Hey, I can do this all day, guys.
Oh my god, I have not done this in a while, so.
Neither side is really falling short on manpower, huh?
Drop on that guy.
You keep beating each other up.
Cool.
I'm just expediting the
Right.
more Raj thugs, more Hammerhead.
Once this fight's over, this takes about 40 seconds to get through this fight, and then I can show you how to go out of bounds in this game. Right, so this guy dodge backwards, jump, and finish on him. If you couldn't tell, I also speedrun this DLC as well every now and then.
You know,
So
I know a guy with a way cooler shield.
alright, cool. So
Was about
We're meant to go up and around this building to enter the sanctum, but what you can do is, if you go down here and position yourself like this... Oh look, I'm inside the building. Oh god, that's not what I wanted. Oh my word, I can't get into where I need to go now. This is annoying when that happens. But luckily here... So anytime you can get yourself caught between like a corner and a building, you can do this. And give me a second here just to do this. Right, so now we're inside the vent. And when we're inside the vent from coming into it from out of bounds, this is actually the place where the mission starts. Yeah, this entire bit despawns and we end up in the void. And instead of going through this entire building and doing everything we need in the building, we can drop in this room and just hop in there, and that ends the whole mission. So you can just hop in there and do that. Let me see if I can find this. So if I go over here to another one, right? So if you go in here, where the hell am I going?
Sure you're okay?
I need to remember where I need to remember my bearings.
Need a chance to catch my
There it is.
Let me run for it.
So here's the wonderful Avengers Tower, right?
Time to heal.
That would be.
Let's see if I can actually get this right, because I've not actually done this. I've not actually done this clip in ages. So if we get ourselves down here,
Happened. But don't leave me out of the loop. You learned.
oh look, we're inside the Avengers Tower now.
We'll stop this guy.
And there's like an entire inside of this tower that you can explore
Hammerhead made
with different surfaces and stuff you can like climb on and things. It's really cool. I've just done the inside of the building.
the bar with no name. Good a place as any to start the hunt.
Like you can go all the way up to the, oh my god. Peter, please. Like you can go all the way up to the top here. And just chill. It's really hard to get back out of bounds once you're in here, so like to get back out of bounds, you either have to do another like out of bounds trick or just reset the checkpoint. But that's that one thing that you can do. Well, it's always amusing to do this as well because you go so far that the ground pound can't actually save you. But yeah, if I reset the checkpoint here and go to another building, let's see if I can go inside this. Let's see if I can go inside this building here. So if I go down the bottom of this building here, nope. So most buildings you can actually clip inside if you do things correctly. I'm gonna go see if I can find a building real quick that I can also do it in. Can I do it here? There you go, I'm inside another building. And you can just do this in nearly every building in the entire game if you really want to. Oh, this is the Avengers Tower again, but yeah. Like any time when you get caught between a wall, between two walls, you can like do that. Let's see if I don't think I have a save for this. Give me a second here. I might do. Give me a second. No, I don't. I don't have a save to show off. There's another thing you can do. So if I load up the game, in cutscenes which you can skip, so when you're in this menu here, you can open up the manual save thing, and I'm going to hold this button here while I open the manual save thing. I can still move the button in the background while this is going on, and when you do this, it stores Spider-Man's positions wherever you are, and you can do this in some places in Mars, but it's not as useful. But in this game, there's actual like structures and buildings out of bounds that you can access by doing this. And also it actually spawns you outside of fights in some instances, and you can go despawn fights and things. But while you're holding a button, you can just move the thing in the background. Like, I can quit the game.
Just wanted to quickly let you know that we have about 2 minutes left on the timer.
Oh yeah. And if you quit the game, it just takes forever to get back to the thing. But yeah, I don't have a save file to show off actually using that in like the context of a run, I don't think. So I won't be able to actually like... Oh, wait, no, do I? Do I? Am I?
Detective, found a stolen painting. It was hidden in a fake tower.
I am a... Apparently I'm a smart boy who actually like...
I'll have someone pick it up.
I might not have enough time to get there at this point because it takes about 2 minutes to travel there from here. Oh, we're trying to do Venom. I tried to do Miles movement for a second there.
Walter Hardy, the original Black Cat. Felicia Hardy, the Black Cat that I know. This appears to be a family business.
I'll see if I can get there within the 2 minute time limit, but I doubt I'll have enough time.
Got about 30 seconds.
Yeah, I'm not going to have enough time to get there. So if I could get into the next fight quickly,
Area controlled by the Magia?
actually I might be able to get to the next fight and do something silly with it. But I probably won't have enough time. But that's fine, don't worry about it. But basically, if you skip cutscenes while you have the manual save thing open, the game just doesn't like it. Let's see if I can actually get it in time.
Must have been pretty valuable.
So if I go...
Okay,
if you could just do that, and then if you do that, it takes Spider-Man forever to spawn in, and you can use that to store your position in different places and things. But yeah, that's it from me, so thank you for having me again. Happy to show off some glitches in Peter game after I'm done playing Miles, which is mostly a glitchless experience.
Alright, well, thank you so much for your run and for showing off those entertaining glitches. Coming up next, we have a interview with Super Viper, and after that we'll be back with some Tail Concerto. So, having said that, I'm going to be signing off as well, leaving you in the capable hands of Mendez. So, see you guys tomorrow.